Hi guys, Paul here, PABrewNews. Gonna do another beer here from the New Trail Brewing Company. This is their 2019 barrel age release of New Trail's Moonlit. This is the coffee variant of their bourbon barrel aged Moonlit, and I think it was Alabaster's Coffee Roasters or something like that. They used that from. Again, no life to this beer. I think there was a slight hiss or something like that. All the beers when I bought them had no life to them, so I gave them some time and I cracked them open, and I remember slightly the single barrel, which I did before, and this one being like kind of the stars of the show, even though the show wasn't that big. You know what I mean? So we'll see if there's a hiss on this one. I hope there is. There was a slight hiss, kind of like the last one, so I'm not expecting miracles. I'll try to pour it hard, see what I can get. I got absolutely nothing on this one, on the last one rather. As far as the head goes, this one has generated a slight bit of head, but I poured it a lot harder than I poured the last one. Already dissipating into a ring, so we will give this one a go. Cheers. That's nice. It really is. Reminds me almost like a pecan pie kind of a smell, because you have that nuttiness, you have a little bit of that caramel, chocolate, those kind of qualities, and you have that kind of coffee coming up, which, you know, in the morning with that kind of coffee roast, adding to that nuttiness, and also giving it kind of that breakfast quality. You know what I mean? Nice smell. Definitely has that really roasted, charred, left out all day kind of coffee smell. So I mean, it's still nice though. It's mixing with the barrel a little bit nicely and giving it that kind of dessert quality. The barrel is not as upfront as the single barrel. It's still there, giving you a little bit. Definitely, yeah, that was my last single barrel. The single barrel was definitely more robust when it comes to barrel character. So this one is more robust as far as coffee character, but that is to be expected. So let's get a taste. Cheers. It's better on the body. The head was better. The body's slightly better. Now you're almost pitching the high side of a medium body, and you know what I mean? That's a nice place to be. Oiliness is still there. Lingering roasted coffee, overly roasted coffee, I guess you can say, on the palate. A little dark chocolate as well. Still kind of hovering between that medium side of a medium body and the high side of a medium body. Oiliness is still there. Roasty toasty. Minerality, copper coin. Baker's dark chocolate. That coffee's definitely kicked up from the last beer. But sadly, the barrel is gone. So you don't get that nice bright caramel peppery bourbon. You get more coffee tones. I think there is bourbon to this one too. Barrel aged Moonlit is our imperial stout that rested for many months on freshly bourbon barrels. Yep, fresh, empty bourbon barrels, aged to perfection. And again, it's just harkening back to when I was pissed off. I've smelled a fresh bourbon barrel, fresh, and you could put anything in that bitch, and it'll reek of bourbon. There is no bourbon screaming from this. Not to that characteristic, not to that level. It's just nuanced hints. And this was fresh, nuanced hints. Coffee was very single barrel, much better, but still. I mean, they cracked a Maker's Mark open once in a big building, and it was a very Maker's Mark barrel. They cracked it open just so they could check it out. That thing stunk up the whole fucking building. I mean, those are robustly scented barrels. And the wood is just saturated. You know what I mean? So I don't know what. They never said what bourbon they use. Is it Pennsylvania whiskey? Is it bourbon? What if it was bourbon? What kind? You know what I mean? Those kind of things, as consumers, we should know. I just think we should know. I'd like to know. Would you like to know? I'd like to know. A little Night of the Living Dead in the background. See that when I really wafted it down? That's more that medium body. Nice coffee though. Very nice coffee. Tastes like a real nice regular stout or a nice porter. This is a coffee porter. Nice. You know, I could use a little bit more carbonation, obviously, because it's a little bit more on the dead side. Not as dead as the single barrel. A little bit more lively, but not carbonation wise. It's just body wise, just that creaminess wise, a little bit lingering more on the palate. Doesn't seem so stale. Yeah, like I said, if this was a nice coffee porter, I'd be digging it. You know what I mean? Especially. This doesn't taste like an imperial porter though. This is just like, you know, a nice 6% coffee porter. It's nice. It's nice. But this is like a 10% imperial stuff. It's bourbon barrel aged and stuff. You're like, this is bullshit. You know, so. Plus, with the age and stuff it has now anyway, you should start pulling those caramel notes and stuff like that from the malt anyway. I like the smell. Really like the smell. Taste, it doesn't linger. It doesn't translate to the taste. The bourbon barrel is lost in the taste. The smell is good though. It smells nice. It's a sessionable. It's definitely tastes sessionable too. Medium body, easy drinking. No hint of ABV whatsoever. Nice roasty toasty tones, coffee tones, nutty tones. Those kind of qualities are still there. Hint of a caramel in there from that bourbon, that peppery bourbon, and that peppery bourbon is mixing with that char, a little bit of that roasty toasty, minerality, copper coin. Those kind of things, fall leaf, in there as well. Vanilla is not pulling through. I wish it was, but it's not. So I remember giving this one a 7.5, like in that 8 category. I have no problem doing the same thing with this one. A little bit lackluster on the bourbon barrel, obviously, so it's still going to hit that, but it's still going to hit that kind of low grade 7.5 category. Coffee's very nice. Things are going on. They're very nondescript. They're very subtle, subdued, those kind of things. Even with age, now 2000, it's like almost it was past mid-grade 2020. Man, I remember the wind was just whipping when I went out to go get these beers. I remember that whipping wind. Absolutely brutal. I don't know why, but it was. But it was cold and whipping. So it was kind of early. So these have definitely probably had a good year at least. But I will say 7. I'll give it a 7.5. I mean, it might be a cop-out score, but I think I'm going to give this one a 7.5 as well. It's a 7.5 area, as the other one was like a 7.58. You know what I mean? This one's a little bit downsized, but at the same time, it's one of those ones. Well, I made a bunch of homebrew. They taste like this. I'll get through the 2 cases. It's not the end of the world. And there's some homebrews where I go, oh my god, I can't even drink this time. Throw it out as a disaster. So, you know, it's a disaster just on a different level. So there you go. It's not that bad. I'm a lot less pissed than I was initially when I first bought it, but overall it's okay. So this has been Paul from PABrewNews with the New Trails coffee variant of the bourbon barrel aged Moonlight from 2019. There you go. We can talk. So there you go. This has been Paul from PABrewNews. Cheers. Boy, watch that finger.